started. Welcome in. This is the Lead Her Morning Show, where I teach a leadership course, and in this leadership course, it's all about healing. That's what I teach you inside the Lead Her Morning Show. So welcome in, welcome in. So once again, good morning. Welcome to the Lead Her Morning Show, where we talk about leadership, healing, self-love, discipline, and becoming the woman we are called to be. Now, if this is your first time, then go ahead and say good morning and tell me where you're watching from. But this is your time to reset your mind, grow, reflect, and start your day with intentions. That is the whole purpose of the morning show. I want to meet you where you are. If you're at your desk, if you're driving, you can just listen. Whatever you got going on, just turn it on and listen, because I'm teaching you about healing, self-love, and finding the leader within you. That's why it's Lead Her. The H is playing off the D of leader. Okay. Now, confidence building. This is day 4. Yesterday, we talked about rewiring the brain. That was, we've been doing this for 4 days today, so consistently. So thank you. Be proud of yourself if you showed up again. Now, but today we're going to talk about confidence building and why that is so important as a woman, as a leader, stepping into your purpose, right? So confidence is not built, okay, from just watching someone and just constantly. No. Confidence is built, not given. So you can't just assume that, okay, everything is working out in your favor. You do this one time, you're not scared, you do this one time, and that's confident because you did something. No, confidence is built. It's not given. No one can give you confidence. It's something that you have to have. A lot of people think that confidence is something you either have or you don't. That's not true. It's kind of like when people say you're either a leader or you're not, right? But confidence it's not something that you just have. You're not born with confidence. You're not just, confidence is just, runs in the family. No, confidence is not something people are born with. Confidence is something that you have to build. That's what confidence is building. Confidence is built when you keep promises to yourself. Now, why do I start here? Because you might be new here. The first day, Monday, we talked about in order to be a leader, you have to learn to lead yourself. You have to learn to lead yourself, okay? So before you even step into the leadership position or the purpose that God has for you, thank you for the like. Before you do that, you have to understand that it is you that you have to police up first. Now, confidence is built when you keep promises to yourself. Now, you're a leader and you're a public speaker, right? And you just feel like, well, because I'm I got all these followers, people see me, then, I could just go out and I could just do this thing. No, it starts with self first. Let me help you build you up first, so therefore you can stand in front of others to be able to do a thing. So keeping promises to yourself, doing things that's hard. When it's hard, doing hard things, finishing what you started. Step outside your comfort zone. Try again after failing. This is what builds confidence. This is how it's built, right? You learn new things, new skills. You keep showing up. You become disciplined. You improve yourself. You do things even when you're scared. Even when you're scared, you do it anyway. So confidence comes from evidence. Evidence. You become confident because you start proving to yourself. Yourself first, not others. My glasses need cleaning. That's what it is. Confidence comes from evidence. What evidence have you've proven to yourself? What have you done to give yourself that confidence? Thank you for the follow. And I'm glad you guys are in. So we just getting started. We just tackling number 1. Okay? So confidence comes from the evidence. So you become confident. You become confident because you start proving to yourself, as we just said. Now listen to this. I can trust myself. I do what I say I'm going to do. Okay? Every time you wake up early, you work out, you complete a task, you speak up, you try something new, or you finish something hard, you are building that confidence. Confidence is not built by thinking. Confidence is built by doing. So every time that's why I say leadership starts with you first. We don't worry about everybody else. We don't worry about trying to figure out, what they got going. We don't worry about things like that. We only focus on ourselves. It's even being a public speaker, going out there and speaking to people you don't know that are judging you or may not be judging you in a good way, bad way. It doesn't matter, right? The confidence lies in you. Because if you're depending on them to make you feel confident, baby, they're going to eat you alive. Do you understand? You have to know that you know what you know. And be able to stand in front of them and not worry about what they got going on. And understand that you're not selling them a thing. You are being who you truly are, your true authentic self. That's what leaders do. You're being your true authentic self, and you're speaking from a place of knowledge because you are confident. So therefore, others will follow. You can't lead someone if you don't know how to lead yourself. How are you being a public speaker? How are you being a leader and you don't even believe in yourself? It's insane. No. So let's talk about it. So as we said, confidence is built by doing. Confidence is built by doing. Now, confidence comes from keeping promises to yourself. And the reason why I keep saying yourself is because I'm not trying to teach you how to be for other people. I'm trying to teach you how to go within. The whole purpose of the Trinity of Fitness Bootcamp and the Lead Her movement is for me to teach you how to go within, how to become powerful, self-reflection, self-healing, all about you. Therefore, you can influence the masses if you know everything about you, right? Thank you for the follow. What's up, Prince? Come on in. So, confidence comes from keeping promises to yourself. Let's look at it. This is one of the biggest secrets to confidence. I'm going to break this down for you. I put it in bullet points. There we go. The biggest secrets of confidence is, listen, if you tell yourself, I'm going to break it down slow because I know it's about to hit everybody that's in here, and even the ones that haven't came in is watching on the outside. I'm going to wake up at 6, but you don't. I'm going to work out, and you don't. I'm going to start my business, and you don't. Grand Rising. I'm going to read, and you don't. I'm going to save money. Baby, this is the Lead Her Morning Show, so I better have a bunch of women up in here talking about yeah, that's me. Yeah, that's me. So I'm going to save money, and you don't. After a while, your mind learns this. We talked about yesterday. Yesterday, we talked about what? What did we say yesterday? Rewiring the mind. Because your mind is set up from survival mode. I'm going to put a pin in what we talked about and come on. Hey, Edison, thank you. Put a pin in this so I can break down rewiring your mind. Your mind is built from survival mode. So in survival mode, guess what happened? You were taught to, your mind knows this. When this certain thing happened, this is how we should react. When, let's look at, I'm going to wake up at 6. Your mind already said, okay, we're not doing that because we never do. So when 6 o'clock, you don't feel guilty for not waking up at 6 because your mind has not hit the nervous system to make you feel convicted or make you feel a type of way because you always say you're going to do that, but you never do. These are the actions for that. Wake up at 6. That means we're not waking up at 6. Okay, I'm going to start my business. You always say that, but with your mind process, we never start the business. That's how that works. But to rewire your mind, you have to teach it that your word is bond. I said what I said and everything has to match. And that's part of healing. So after a while, your mind, as we said, you say all these things and you don't do it. Your mind learns that I don't trust myself and I don't do what I say. Now that destroys your confidence. That's what destroys your confidence. Okay? It's not getting on stage and getting booed. It's you breaking promises to yourself. Before you can get on the stage with others, you need to be confident with yourself. But when you start keeping small promises, meaning realistic goals or actions. Now, as a personal trainer, you can't come to me and you weigh 400 pounds. Let's just put that out there. You weigh 400 pounds and you're like, hey, I'm going to start working out. And I'm going to do this 6 times a day a week. And I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. And then you can't do any of those. It doesn't make any sense to you, right? You quit because they're not realistic goals or actions. You can't be 400 pounds and expect to lose 400 or 350 pounds by the end of the year. It took you more than a year to gain the weight. So give yourself grace by making realistic goals or actions. So let's talk about this. But when you start keeping small promises and realistic goals or actions, says, I will drink water today. You see, I didn't say I'm going to drink a whole gallon of water. What you said is, I'm going to drink water today. I will walk for 10 minutes. You didn't say I'm going to put my rucksack on and I'm going to do a hike. No, what you said is I'm going to walk for 10 minutes. Whether it's 2 minutes here, 2 minutes there, 2 minutes this, it doesn't matter. Or just 10 minutes straight. I will read 5 pages. You didn't say I'm going to finish this book tonight. I'm going to finish this whole chapter tonight. I will journal tonight. Yeah, you didn't say, oh, I'm going to go ahead and write me I am sending you a 12-page letter, 4 page, 6 pages, whatever. You know, I done took it to 12. Right? You didn't say that. You said I will, I'm going to journal tonight. Journaling means you can write 2 sentences, 3 sentences, whatever it is. You're journaling. I will wake up when my alarm goes off. Now, that's where I'm kind of stuck at because, baby, I hit that snooze button. But this is what I did. I used to hit it. I never used to hit my snooze button, ever. I never used to hit my snooze button, right? Me and my husband at the time, we were in the military together. And that joker would hit that snooze button over and over. It would just irritate me because if the alarm go off, get up. That's how disciplined I was. But let me tell you what bad habits did. I'm like, wait a minute. He keep hitting and he make it on time. Let me hit it too. And then that's how I got in the habit of hitting. And I never broke the habit. What I did was I get 1 snooze. And it doesn't mean I get to go back to sleep because it's not that long of a snooze. It's for me to sit there and have that conversation with myself. Baby, we got to get out this bed. Hey, don't you close your eyes. Don't you have no conversation. Don't you nothing. Do you understand? So that's my way, right? And then I will finish this task. When you start doing that, when you start keeping small promises, realistic goals, or actions, what your mind learns is that I am a person who does what I say. I'm a person who does what I say. I can trust myself. You can trust yourself. So self-trust creates confidence. Confidence is not loud, it's not bragging, it's not arrogant. No, confidence is quietly knowing that I can depend on myself. That's what confidence is. Quiet, knowing that you can depend on yourself. So let's get into another one. Confident people still get scared. Confident people still get scared. They just act anyway. They act anyway. This is something a lot of people misunderstood, and they misunderstand when it comes to confidence. This is what people misunderstand. People think confident people, that they're not scared. They don't get nervous. They don't doubt themselves. They don't fail. They don't feel uncomfortable. That's not true. I still get a feeling when I get ready to hit live and come on. Even though I know I'm confident in the work that I did. But it's still just that thing because I know when I come on, I'm going to either be judged in a way of thank you, to help others, or judged in a way of I'm sick of her. We all got haters. But I don't stop my confidence because I'm confident in what I'm speaking and what I created for you guys. I didn't just pull this information out of the wind and said, okay, I'm going to teach this. No. Everything that I teach comes from my own experience. Good morning, D Woods. What's up? Come on in. Thank you for the follow. Cadilio. I think I did it right. But anyway, it came from my own testimony and what I went through in my life. And the reason why it's so important, this is not for everybody. So I don't expect to have 1 million followers or 1 million people in my life, because this is for the people that set apart, that have been through the things that I've been through, that I can teach them. We all have someone that we have similar things that we go through. So I'm confident to speak this because it's me. But that doesn't mean that I don't get afraid. Here, I'm so comfortable on TikTok live. But when I go on my other platforms, I'm just like, okay, here we go. So my temperament is a little bit different. Well, I'm not going to say my temperament, but my mood, and I'm not going to say it's a character. It's just that you get different sides of me. Thank you so much for the rose. You get different sides of me. Meaning TikTok, I'm more comfortable and I could just go and I could just flow and I could just do my thing. But when I go to my Twitch and my YouTube or my other platforms, it's just strictly business. I may get a little laugh joke here and there, but no, I get straight to the point because I put myself in a classroom environment there. But it doesn't mean that I'm not afraid. Doesn't mean I don't get nervous. You know what I mean? But like I said, that's not true to think that people that's confident don't get nervous. Confident people feel fear just like everyone else. You think Beyonce, when she get on the stage, she still don't have her nerves bad? Michael Jackson didn't have his nerves bad? No, and they was the biggest stars. I mean, with Michael Jackson, him just standing there, people just, transitioned out of this world just from him standing there. People was just transitioning every concert. They just, see on the other side because they could not, his energy was just that big. They could not. Hearts just stopped beating, literally. But while he's standing there and people transitioning, guess what? With him, you don't think he was still nervous? Maybe that was, and then we'll never know. Maybe that was his mechanism that's why he stood there so long, to feed off of everybody else's energy, to give him, to make him feel like, okay, I got this. Pep himself up. Who knows? But baby, God bless him. So confident people feel fear just like everyone else, as we said. But here's the difference. The difference is they don't let fear make their decisions. Confident people feel fear just like everyone else. It's just that they don't let fear dictate or make their decisions. We still get nervous. Leaders, you guys will still get nervous before speaking. Feel scared starting something new. We still worry sometimes. I know I do. I still worry sometimes, but because I don't let the worry and anxiety guide me, I know the techniques, and that's what I teach you guys, how to self-regulate. I know how to self-regulate. I know how to calm myself down. I'm sorry, you guys, I don't do invites because I'm teaching a class. So these are my class that I'm teaching, so I don't do invites. So I self-regulate. And then I get on. I don't let worry take over. So then I have moments of doubt. Okay? We all do. Sometimes as leaders, we feel uncomfortable in new rooms. We feel the pressure and we feel unsure. But instead of me saying, or instead of you as a leader saying, I'm scared, so I won't do it. No, you say, I'm scared, but I'm going to do it anyway. What's that song with that young lady? It went viral. Do it anyway. Do it anyway. Now, that's confidence. That is confidence. So that's confidence, okay? I'm scared, but I'm going to do it anyway. Confidence is not the absence of fear. We talked about that in one of my other leadership courses that I teach about, it was about courage, right? Courage is not the absence of fear. Fear is still there. Confidence is not the absence of fear. Fear is still there. It's just confidence is moving forward while fear is present. Meaning that, yes, fear is here, but the confident person, my confidence is still making me go forward. Okay? So if you wait to stop being scared, then you will never, ever start that business. You won't start that business. You won't apply for that job. You won't post that video. You won't move, lead, grow, or change your life. You will not even go back to school because you're waiting to stop being scared. Because of every new level of your life will require something that scares you. So the goal is, I want to stop being scared. That's the goal. I want to stop being scared, right? That's what you think. A lot of people think this is my goal. In order for me to get there, I have to stop being scared. But that's not the goal. That's not the goal at all. You have to rewire your brain because this is what you tell your brain because your brain got it backwards. Remember survival mode. Oh, I can't do that. I got to build up the confidence for that. I can't do that. Oh, I ain't ready for that. With the haircuts, let's talk about it. When women want to get a pixie cut, they talk about, oh, I want that pixie cut, but oh man, I got to build up the confidence for that because it has to. I used to wear my hair short all the time. Matter of fact, I didn't want no hair. I was in the military. I just wanted to cut short so I could throw some water on it and keep going, because I got hair like my father. He had some pretty hair. Now, my mama hair was like Velcro, but don't worry about it. My daddy had that pretty hair. So it just curls up. My natural curls was so pretty. So, yeah, I took after him. So it was just like, yes. I didn't worry about what do people think. I've never been that type of person. I've always been the type of person of what do I want to do. That's why I don't understand how I even entered the military, because of don't tell me what to do. My motto has always been this, but Jill Scott said it best. The way she rephrased it made me look at it a whole lot different. But I used to say it, but not the way she said it. She said, if you can tell me what to do, then tell me what to do. But if you can't tell me what to do, don't tell me what to do. And that's how I always lived my life. Move, right? So the goal is not, I want to stop being scared. The goal is this: I will stop letting fear control my decisions or my actions. Thank you, House of Beauty Body. House of Beauty Body. Thank you for the follow. Listen, that's the goal. I will stop letting fear control my decisions and my actions. Fear will always show up when you are growing. Yes. So look at fear like this. The enemy will always show up. Thank you for the follow, Red, who, yep, can't read all that. I don't know what that, I got glasses on, still can't see. Don't worry about it, though. Listen, fear and the enemy. The enemy will always show up when you're growing, when you're trying something new, when you're becoming better, when you're leaving your comfort zone, when you're meeting new people, when you're starting something important, doing something that matters. Baby, when you become her, fear shows up. Because you're like, I don't know this feeling. I don't know who I'm becoming. Let me tell you something. When you go through the healing journey, what happens is, they call it the dark night of the soul, right? And a lot of people don't know what the dark night of the soul is. They're like, oh no, it's a ritual run, hashtag I'm scared. No. Dark night of the soul is you versus you. Meaning that now that you are coming into who God called you to be, you've accepted that God, you accepted God, you accepted that I am God. Big G God. You accept it for who he is. You understand. You know what's going on. You know who he is and whose he is. You understand it all. You know who you are now. But now it's the dark night of the soul. Now you have to rewire your brain. The rewiring your brain is, hold on. I really appreciate that so much, but I see you trying to disrupt this crowd. But listen, now what you're trying to do is rewire your brain. Survival mode, your true authentic self. That's what Dark Night of the Soul is. It's just you versus you. So that's why I say, when you start becoming her, when you start doing things that matter, when you start starting something important, meeting new people, leaving your comfort zone, becoming better, trying something new, when you start to grow, the enemy shows up. But because you know who you are now, you understand. You don't get mad anymore. I'm like, oh no, and run from it. No, you acknowledge it like, I understand who you are, but you're not allowed over here. Boundaries. So fear is not the sign that you are doing something that matters, right? Fear is the sign that you're doing something that matters. So I don't even know how I messed it up. Fear is the sign that you're doing something that matters. And the reason being is, why would you feel fear? Like you're doing something that's important to you. You're afraid of messing up. You're afraid of people coming against you. You're afraid of, fear don't show up when we don't care. Fear does not show up when we don't care. Baby, when you don't care about something, fear don't show up because it wants you there. The enemy wants you there. The enemy wants you not to, care. So as long as you don't care, he's good. He did his job. I know that's right, D Woods. I get excited. I be trying to get this message out. So that's how that goes. Fear is a sign that you are doing something that matters. Now, confident people are not fearless. Confident people are not fearless. We have fear. We're just brave enough to move forward. We're just brave enough to move anyway. Regardless, we're brave enough. What's going on? Thank you. Good morning. Right? But brave is not someone who is not scared. That's what I need you to understand. There's no substitution for Fear. It's no substitution for fear. You know what I didn't do before I opened up? I didn't do this. I do this before y'all come on, so I'm going to do it now. Lord God, I come boldly before your throne right now, Lord God, and I thank you, Lord. I ask that you use me. I ask that you speak through me. Allow me to be silenced and allow the Spirit to speak through me. I rebuke every troll. I rebuke all nonsense, chaos, mess. I rebuke it away from us, and I cast it in the pit of hell. And if it's not allowed in the pit of hell, I ask that you send it off to dry places that it can't attach to anyone else. Lord, I ask that you cover my life and bring the people in that need to hear and people that need to see and speak. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. So, because I've noticed I've been getting a lot of trolls on here. And I'm like, dang, I didn't say my prayer. I say my prayer every time I come on here. Amen. So, getting back to it. So, brave is not someone who is scared. Brave is someone who is scared but moves anyway. But the thing with this is, when we keep trying to substitute, and the reason why we keep trying to substitute or something that's not going right with us, are when we try to make up an excuse of why we're not doing it, because that's how our brain is wired, right? So, oh no, they can't be afraid. Well, do you feel confident? No, I don't. But you do it anyway. We say, oh, well, that's so brave. That means they're not scared, because you just explained that confidence is not, is not a replacement for fear, right? But then they come up with, oh, well, you're so brave. No, you have to stop. You have to retrain your mind, rewire your mind to know that just period. That is a period behind it. No, confidence is not a replacement for fear. It does not mean that I'm not afraid. So if I'm afraid and I say I'm not confident, that still doesn't mean I can't do it. In order to be confident, I don't want to get ahead of myself because I'm going to talk about this too. In order to do better and to be confident, I have to practice. Now, we talked about that. Confidence is built, not given. That was the very first thing we talked about. Confidence is not something people are born with. It is something people build. And how do you build it? By keeping promises to yourself, doing hard things, finishing what you started, stepping outside your comfort zone, trying again after failing, right? Learn new skills, keep showing up, become disciplined, improve yourself, do things even when you're scared. That's how confidence is built. So it's not about being brave. It's not about, you have to build that thing up. So look, stop waiting to feel ready. What does that mean? Stop waiting to feel ready. Because this is the excuse we give ourselves. This is why I need you to rewire your mind. Because now you have to tell your mind that, hey, we're going to do it a different way. So stop waiting to feel ready. This stops more people than failure does. Before they even get to the point of failure, they already ended before it even gets started, because they said they don't feel ready. You don't feel ready. Why don't you feel ready? Because you think that's about confidence. I don't feel ready, I'm not going to start it. So people are waiting for the right time, more money, more knowledge, more confidence, more support, more motivation, less fear, a perfect plan, and everything to line up perfectly. So many people are waiting for those things. This stops more people than failure does. Are you ready? Do you feel ready? No. So I got to get more of this stuff. I need a perfect plan. So many people open up a business. Thank you for the follow. So many people open up a business and they don't open the business because I got to get everything perfect. I got to have a perfect plan. I got to do this right. I got to feel, I got to know, that's what people feel. That's what they think. But they keep saying, this is what they keep saying. I'll start next month. I'm going to start next year. Next year, I'm going to start my business. I need a plan. I need to plan more. I need to learn more. I need to get ready. I'm not ready yet. This is what we say to keep us. Listen, everybody blame it on the devil. Oh, the devil just trying to keep me down. No, you keep you down. And that's what I teach you in the healing process, teaching you how to heal, when to heal. You know, the process of healing is first acknowledging that you are the problem. No one can make you do anything except for you. No one can make you fail but you. I don't care how much hating they do. I don't care how much salt they put in the game. I don't care how many monkey wrenches they throw in your plan. I don't care what's going on. At the end of the day, I don't care how much cheating they do. At the end of the day, if you fail, it is your fault. Because one, we're not trying to win a race by man. We're trying to win the race of what God gave us, meaning that doing your job. So even if you're doing your job, right? Let's look at, I guess I'll use American Idol. Let's look at that. You have one winner, right? One winner that everybody vote for and they do. But that second runner up, right? Always end up with a deal. Just because they didn't win the grand prize, the second one always ends up with a better deal and gone on because people see their talent. They didn't win the man-made race, but they won the spiritual race by having the confidence to get up there and go. Whenever you step into your confidence and operate in the purpose that God gave you, if you are a singer, you can't compare yourself to everybody else in the industry because you didn't do what everybody else in the industry did. You are doing it the right way. If you decide to go and you want to get signed and this, that, and the third, that's fine. But if you want to be successful when you sign to that label, you have to do what everybody else did. But if you do it the way that God said do it, God said, hey, just go here, drop that mixtape, go here, put your demo there, go here, now go wait. Don't worry about it because it's going to fall in the right hands. I just need to make sure I move this person out of position. So now I got to set the plan up. So it's a ladder effect. Let's look at it. The latter effect of he has to get to the point that this person at the top is going to fall short because he know he's going to fall short on something. And now he got to get fired and he's going to be replaced by what I'm going to bring and put into place. Kind of like we talked about in Daniel's chapter 4, when Nebuchadnezzar, he's the man, he's beating his chest, he's doing all these things. But what he didn't understand, it was God's plan anyway to come into his land and dwell. And who was best to do it? It was Daniel. See, all his wise men already, they couldn't interpret dreams. They wasn't the best of best. It was Daniel, the one that was held captive, that came in and did the thing and was well respected. So the same way with you, having the confidence, knowing that you don't have to feel ready. Don't do it like someone else. You do it like yourself. You do it like you. In the time, it will be your time. Just build the confidence. So stop waiting to feel ready. Don't say you're going to do it next week. Don't say you're going to do it next month. Don't say you're not ready yet. Don't say anything, because the truth is you will never feel 100% ready. When I wrote my first book, I was not ready. God said, write it. I wrote it. Nervous. Worrying, am I writing and I'm writing the wrong thing? Am I saying this right? And then I started thinking, putting myself in other people's shoes that's reading my book. How did I just fail myself that bad? I just failed myself because I went off of what God told me to do and went off my own understanding, worrying about what man was going to do, how man was going to read the book. How can I assume what man is going to think? How can I bring up some analytics about men that I don't even know, people that I don't even know, but I'm pretending to be them? No, what I was playing was devil advocate. What I was doing is being the enemy. I put on the enemy shoes. I took something that was great from God, that was created, and put the enemy shoes on and read it with hate. This is how I failed myself. I was failing myself until I had to say, you know what? If it wasn't meant for me to do it, God wouldn't have told me to do it. So I had to learn how to rewire my brain and get out of the enemy's shoes every time I do something great. Every time I'm doing something great, I would get in the enemy's shoes and view me. So I created an illusion because it's not true. I created the hate and illusion. So I had to rewire my brain that is not how I do things. So no, you'll never be 100% ready. But people who start businesses, we weren't ready. When, leaders, we weren't ready. We wasn't ready. It just happened. When it's your time, God will promote you just like that. Who wrote a book we just talked about, started working out when they wasn't even ready. No, something you didn't just, man, I'm about to go get fired. It just happened. Something clicked in you. And you like, no, you know what? You looked in the mirror that day and was like, I'm done. I don't like who I've become. I heard a guy that lost a lot of weight, got toned up real good. I mean, he was looking amazing. He said, and he sat there in that gazebo and he told me, he said, you know what hurt me the most? I was like, what? Because we're talking about his excitement of how he got to where he was. He was like, it's because nobody told me I was fat. Now, what I processed is, you couldn't see it? I was like, what you mean? You couldn't see? He said, no, I couldn't see it. And since I'd never been in his shoes, I had to think about it. It's a lot of people that don't know. They just look at it like, okay, this is who I am. Oh, well, I've accepted who I am. He said, nobody told me I was fat. I sit and I look at my pictures of what I used to weigh and look at me, and no one told me. And he said that hurted me real bad because I had to start reevaluating my friends and my relationships with people. Because if you supposed to be my friend, you tell me all the time, you love me, you got my back, you love me, but you never told me, hey, this is unhealthy. You know, I don't want to see you go down like that. They just allow me to be who I am. And I said, wow. So he said just one day so no one's ready. It just happens. People who change their life, they wasn't ready. People that, do drugs, right? They think about it like, man, I'm sick of doing this, but they wasn't ready. And then one day, it happened. And they got clean. I don't care if they wasn't ready, but they had to get locked up and that's why they couldn't do it. I don't know. But it's something. You just have to get started. That's the thing. You have to get that point of rekindle that flame that's in you of wanting to live and be happy. So readiness does not come before action. Readiness does not come before action. Readiness comes from action. Thank you, Omar, for the follow. Readiness does not come before action. Readiness comes after. Okay? Your actions, period. It don't come from the actions. It comes, right? Once you start doing it. So, before, no, it just happens. And then your actions is what keep you ready. Thank you, Princess Bia. So, you learn by what? Doing. You grow by doing. You become confident by doing. You figure it out and you get better by doing it. Not waiting, not by planning forever, not by overthinking, and not by watching everyone else, okay? You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. You have to. So stop waiting until you feel ready and start, and you will become ready along the way. You have to start. Now let's look at this. Most people are not stuck because they are not capable. Most people are stuck because they keep waiting for a feeling that is never coming. That's why you never get started. Because you're waiting on that feeling like, I don't know. So you're 80 years old, huh? Did you know yet? No. You don't need more time. You don't need more confidence. No. You don't need more approval. You don't need a perfect plan. And you don't need more motivation. Motivation is you alone. I told you. So for the ones that's new, motivation, to break down what motivation is, because a lot of y'all like, I just need that motivation. Motivation is an emotion. Yes, motivation is an emotion. Emotions goes up and down. That's why motivation. Some days you're motivated, some days you're not. Emotions are up and down. So you need the discipline. Motivation will get you started, but to keep you consistent is the discipline. So don't ever rely on motivation because, baby, it's an emotion. Today you may be happy. Tomorrow you might be sad. 1 minute you may be laughing. The second minute you may be angry. Motivation. One moment you're motivated, and as soon as they do something, you're unmotivated now. So you don't need a perfect plan. You don't need motivation. You don't need those things. You just need a decision. What is your decision? What do you choose to do? What do you choose to do? What is your action? Do it. So action builds confidence, not thinking. Okay? Action builds confidence, not thinking. Many people are waiting to feel confident before they start. Now, this is the part that I need you to understand when I break this down. Okay, most people say, I'll start when I feel confident. They're waiting to feel confident before they start. I'll speak when I feel confident. I'll post when I feel confident. I'll go live when I feel confident. I will apply when I feel confident. I'll go, where I need to go when I feel confident. But confidence doesn't come first. I'm teaching you how to rewire your brain. Now think about that. Now that I said it out loud, really think about it. I'm going to go live when I feel confident. Well, I just taught you in order to feel confident, you have to do, right? Confidence comes after action because practice makes you confident. You have to build confidence. It's not, oh, I'm confident, I'm about to do it. No, you're motivated and you're about to go do it. You was never confident. Today you feel good and you about to do it. But you never was confident. And then you leave the stage or wherever it is like, oh man, I can't believe I did it. I can't believe I did it. Now you have that drive to want to do it again and again and again. That's the confidence. But what got you started was the motivation. Okay? So most people, like I said, I'll do it when I feel confident. I'll do it when I'll apply for the job when I feel confident. But confidence doesn't come first. Action comes first. Then confidence comes afterwards. And that's what I need you to rewire your brain. Because what your brain tells you is, okay, so she jumped up and she did this. Okay, she's confident. You've told your brain that that's what confidence is. You told your brain that that's the definition of confidence. So that means every time you jump up and do something, you're confident. No. And then you're wondering why your legs shaking and you can't, you nervous, you're so nervous, your legs shaking, you just like, heart beating. And then you say, well, I'm confident, but yet you can't get the words out, you can't get the structure, you can't get it right, you can't. And that's because of fear, right? Just because you're confident doesn't mean fear is there. But you haven't built up the confidence yet. As you build your confidence up, and it's not about being around people, it's being confident in your work and in your job of what you do. That's what it is. Okay, David, I'm going to go ahead and block you. I usually don't block people, but you came in here yesterday with that foolishness, and I answered your question. So I'm going to just block him. Now, what are your actions? You do what it is to be done, the action. Now you're confident. Now do it again to build it and build it and build it and build it. So as we said, rewiring your brain. The order is this. So let's look at the order. You try, you learn, you improve. That's how I need you to rewire your brain. Let's go. You try, you learn, you improve. You try again, you get better, then confidence grows. Try, learn, improve. Try again, get better, then confidence grows. Not confidence in action. No, but it's action and confidence. Action and confidence. You don't wait to become confident. You become confident because you started. So I'm going to break this down, right? Breaking this down, how did I put it? Courage gets you started or motivated. So just remember, courage will get you started or motivated. Now, the next thing is then by executing the plan or taking action. This is what you do next. You execute the plan and take action. This helps build confidence because you will be practicing. And each time you perform that action, you will become better, which leads to you being confident. Okay, so I hope y'all got your notebooks. Anytime you see me on whatever platform you see me on, I am teaching and you're going to get homework. So every day for the morning show, I come on at 9:30 Central Time to give you this. But before we get into that, before I even knew I was going to do this class, I had this sitting on my desk and it kind of like fell in my lap yesterday. And I always take notes of everything. I don't know where I got this from. I can't even remember if I came up with it or if I was just sitting and studying. But today's course was about confidence, and it's amazing how God worked. He just placed it on me, and I looked at it and I said, wow, this is exactly what I'm teaching. I had no idea, right? Thank you for the follow. I didn't get your name. Okay, so confidence is an inside job, internal. External, most people show it by acting out of low self-esteem. Confidence is an inside job. It's internal, but externally, we show it by acting out of low self-esteem. When a person is not confident, I don't care how old they are, they do weird things. They may overly, how I don't know, overly express themselves. They show anger, nastiness, attitude. I know, well, I'm not going to remember. I know a group of females, we would go out to eat and the waitress would come and ask us our order. It was never an attitude with this person. It's one person. It's never an attitude. The waitress never give us an attitude. She's doing her job. And this one person, this one female, instead of her being confident in knowing how to order her food, and she was almost 50, instead of her being confident knowing how to order her food, what she did was, what she will always do, she still do to this day, is pop off immediately with attitude. Yeah, let me get, because most people would be like, oh, she got a nasty attitude. No, it's confidence. Do you understand how many women, and well, I'm going to say women, I'm going to speak for women. Thank you for the follow, Diori. I think I said it right. I try to pronounce your name and acknowledge you guys. I'm so sorry if I didn't. But listen, what a lot of women do because they're not confident in what they're doing. Or you have those women that put on that one outfit or, they got their hair done a certain way, but because they're not confident in the outfit or the hair, they just walk around with an attitude because they want to stop you from saying anything about them. But baby, you just brought more attention because now your outfit ugly and your attitude ugly. You know what I mean? It makes people that's of low vibration want to say something. But that's the confidence. Have you ever seen a confident woman that just walks in the room? It just seems like she just floats in the room, baby. Like she is just melted with cocoa butter and shea butter, and she is just here. And girl, where you come from? She is just all the way put together because it's the grace. It's just who she is. Because she's confident in who she is. But the low vibration, it will always be low vibration that will say, oh, she thinks she's better than when all she did was walk in the room. Be that woman. That's what confidence is. Me and I ain't worrying about what nobody else saying. Birds, nothing. I don't care. Go ahead on. I'm just here being me. You ever seen women that will put on patterns and colors that you like, I would have never thought to put no zebra stripe and no leopard on, but they walk as if that is the cleanest thing ever, because it is. Because it is. And the reason why it is because she put it on. And because she's confident in who she is, that's what makes it even better. You're not as bold. So confidence is a feeling, and we look outward to get the justification. Confidence is a feeling, and we look outward to get the justification from others to feel confident. No. It's a feeling. Stop looking for other people. So that was that. It was just amazing that I wrote this note. And it's all, each one of them is about, each one of them, would you relate that to esteem? What you want, how you want me to break it down. Each one of them, all four of them is about confidence. And I don't know, it's just amazing how God worked that I was already creating something about confidence, and then here it is a year later I'm building classes about confidence. So that's what's amazing to me. And I'm that type of person. I'm always learning, and I don't just learn just so I can come out and say, look at me, I'm gonna teach you this because I know it all. No, I'm always learning because, as I said, I'm teaching me how to be a better person. I want to be the best version of me, not for anybody else, but for me, right? And by me building myself, because iron sharpens iron, I'm going to sharpen someone else's iron. High confidence is having high self-esteem. Nope, it's not. Having confidence. So with confidence, there is, okay. Yeah. So with confidence, there is no high confidence. There's no low confidence. It just is what it is. Now, so this is a good way to rewire your brain too. A lot of people compare themselves to someone else. So let's look at me and a motivational speaker that has 1.3 million followers. And then there's me, right? And so most people that's in that boat, they would say, well, they'll kind of shun themselves down a little bit because they look at, you got 1.3 million followers. That mean that you have more experience. That mean that you have more. So I'm going to sit in the shadows a little bit. My confidence is not that high yet. But boy, when I get there, and that's because you wired your brain to believe that confidence, right, equals stature. So no. So for me and a person that's 1.56 million, I don't care. I'm just as equal to you. Because I know who I am and I know what I speak. Just because I may not be able to teach what you teach or look at it the way you look at it. That's the whole purpose of life coaches. Life coaches give you a different way of looking at things. It does not mean that his way is right, does not mean that my way is right. It's for the people that's set apart for me, meaning that I can break it down to you in a way that he can't break it down or she can't break it down. So that's what that is. So there's no high or low confidence. Now, with the self-esteem, right? Self-esteem, confidence should not even be equate to self-esteem. Let's take confidence out and let's replace it with self-worth. That's what deals with your self-esteem. So your self-worth, how do you see yourself? If you don't see yourself as loving, you don't see yourself as beautiful, if you don't see yourself as that, right? But what people do is take self-esteem and confidence, put it together, and they think that they that girl or that guy, and you're not. What you are is a fool in this moment and making a fool of yourself. Like I said, with the women that, when they put an outfit on or someone put an outfit on and all of a sudden they got all this nasty attitude, right? Yeah. I totally get it, D Woods. But they have all this nasty attitude, right? And they give everybody this stank attitude about themselves because they're not confident in the clothes that they put on. But their self-esteem to them is so high that they're better than someone. And that's not the case. They have low self-esteem and they have no confidence, which equates to zero self-worth. Zero. Okay? I hope that made sense. So, as I broke down, courage gets you started or motivated. Courage does. Courage. Listen, I didn't say confidence. I said courage. Courage gets you started or motivated. But then by executing the plan of the action, it helps build your confidence. So courage gets you started, and it will lead into building your confidence by constantly doing a thing, which then you will become better, which leads to you being a confident individual in what you do. So if you don't have your notebook, go ahead, get your notebook. This is your homework. This is everything that you're going to work on for today. Let's look at it. RPI. What is the RPI? RPI is the 5 pillars of the foundation for the Trinity of Fitness Bootcamp. Trinity of Fitness Bootcamp, I'm the founder of that. And that is a place where I teach you how to heal spiritually, mentally, and physically. Okay? Now, with the RPI, I use it as a checks and balance. So as a life coach, this is just free information for you guys. Quick way to get yourself back from 100 to 0, or don't even, and learn that gray area that you don't even cross 10. You don't cross 10. Okay. Once you see 10, hey, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect. Now with the RPI, it is to check yourself. So you acknowledge what the issue is. You release whatever negative self-talk or whatever your brain has told you to do. Meaning that if somebody called you out your name, the first thing you know, your brain is going to tell you, react, crash out. This is how we respond. Your brain can only process behaviors that you've done before already. It can't process anything new because, as I said yesterday, you never gave it the what if. The what if is, what if they wasn't talking to you? What if it was a mistake? What if something's going on with them? What if they're mentally ill? No, you never gave it that because you're from survival mode. What your brain process is crash out, do this. This is what we've been doing. This is what we've been doing. So you're going to release that, and then you're going to practice whatever it is. Do you need to take deep breaths? Do you need to do the 44-44, which is breathe in 4 seconds, hold it 4 seconds, exhale 4 seconds, do it 4 times. Is that what you're going to do? So is that what you're going to do or no? Hold on. All right. So is that what you're going to do? Right? So you practice, and then you got inner explore, which is the self-reflection. You reflect on, what did I do in that moment? I did not say dwell on, was you the problem? I did not say look at yourself like, oh man, I'm such a bad. I said, where did you go wrong? Why did that person have that much access to you to make you even want to react? How did they get in? Thank you for the follow. How did they get into your space? Well, usually you left the gate open. What the gate is, your boundaries. You opened your boundaries. You lifted the boundaries. You did something that caused them to feel that they can come and say those things to you. things like that. Thank you for the follow, Love Day. And then empower. Now you empower yourself, meaning that you tell yourself you did good. We will not fall for this again. This is not who I am. I am who I say I am. I am strong. Whatever it is, you empower yourself. Don't look for the next person. That's what RPI is. I know it sounds like a lot to do when you're in the heat of the moment, but it's not, because you're going to wire your brain to acknowledge really quick. Acknowledge what just happened. Now, release, because we're not going to react anymore. We're going to respond. We're going to respond by either disconnecting, walking away, or whatever it is. And then we're going to practice. Take a deep breath. Okay, they coming at me. I feel a type of way. I need to self-regulate. Take a deep breath. Walk away. Get some air. Whatever. Self-regulate. Inner empower. Inner explore. Self-reflect. What caused that? You're not going to dwell on it, though. It's not going to constantly play on repeat. And that's what you're changing. You're training your mind. You're training your mind to not go on repeat. You know, when something happened, you just constantly think about it all day. You're not eating. You're losing weight. You get depressed. It's constantly going. What you're doing is training your mind. We're not doing that anymore. We're not dwelling on anything. I don't care what they did is what they did. That's their problem. Me. How can I make sure that never happen again? And then empower. This is what will, once you empower yourself, it'll keep your mind from going back to it and saying, oh, you should have said, or you should have did, or what if this, oh, they played you. Oh, they thought it went, it went over your head yesterday, but this is what it really meant. Nope. Because we don't care what other people do. You can't control what other people do. You have to let the enemy do his job. He has to enemy. That's his job. So it doesn't matter how much you pray. It doesn't matter how much you rebuke the enemy. It doesn't matter what you do. He's going to do his job. He's good at his job. You have to learn to do your job and keep your gate closed. You have to stay focused. And that's why I give you so much homework. I give you so much homework so you can focus on only you. You don't have time to deal with anything else. That's why all my platforms is homework. So let's get into the RPI of this. I want you to ask yourself, acknowledge, where do I lack confidence? R for release. Release self-doubt and comparison. Release it. It's not needed. P for practice. Speak confidently today. Speak from a place of confidence. Meaning that, hey, even if you just came on my live and you stayed the whole time, you can do that. Because a lot of people attention span is out the window. You keep practicing and you'll be able to pay more attention. Keep practicing. Keep practicing. Something small. But speak confidently today. I can do this. I'm doing this. Okay? What's the next one? I for inner explorer. What makes me doubt myself? Self-reflect on that. What made you doubt yourself? Once you identify what made you doubt yourself, okay, so with Inner Explorer, I'm going to put this out there. Once you self-reflect and it says, what makes me doubt myself, and you get to the root of what made you doubt yourself, usually you have to chase it back down to your childhood, right? Abandonment issues, whatever it is. And then you speak truth to the childhood version of you that created that adult decision from a child's mind that this is what is wrong and this is why I doubt myself, right? But then you do some actions, meaning that what makes me doubt myself? Well, my husband, my family, my children, whatever it is. Now, how do you deal with that? That's up to you. But you have to deal with it in a healthy manner. You can do it by conversations. If you don't know how to conversate, you can journal, right? But after the journal, action still needs to happen. It needs to be boundaries, meaning that, okay, you doubt yourself, then stop telling everybody what you're thinking and where you're going. Everybody don't deserve what you're thinking and where you're going. Everybody doesn't deserve your testimony. Just because you have a testimony, everybody don't need to hear it, okay? It's for the people that's set apart that God will send your way. Now, E for empower. I want you to say, I am confident and capable. I am confident and capable. So let's do a recap as we get ready to close this out. Is confidence is not something you wait for. Confidence is something you build. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, every time you do something hard, every time you show up when you don't feel like it, you are building confidence. Confidence is built by the life you live, not the words you say. Okay? Now, your journaling, what you're going to journal today is, what is one thing I've been afraid to do that could help build my confidence? And what makes me powerful? And then your homework is just as simple. Today I want you to speak up. Speak boldly. Speak up. Now let's do our declaration. I want you to repeat after me. I am building confidence every day. I keep promises to myself. I do hard things. I trust myself. I believe in the woman I am becoming. I am confident. Okay? And your scripture for today is Psalms 46:5. God is within her. She will not fall. God will keep her at break of day. God is within her. She will not fall. God will help her at break of day.